So this is kind of insane. I should probably clarify right now, I'm not really a huge MCU buff. I'm not too knowledgeable about the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I always joke with my friends that I'm a Spider-Man fan, not a Marvel fan. And that's entirely true because I could recite countless facts about Spider-Man and all that, but when it comes to the broader MCU, I'm kind of lost. But I couldn't hold myself back from talking about this because it's literally all over the internet. Robert Downey Jr. is coming back to the MCU, not as Iron Man, as Doctor Doom. Doctor freaking Doom. It's all over the internet. People are talking about it. Some people are mad. Some people are happy. And I'm just here torn because I honestly don't know what to think. So instead of losing sleep over it, I just thought I'd talk to you because, I mean, heck, this is better than any therapy I could ever get. And it's cheaper, too. So, Robert Downey Jr. as Doctor Doom. Why are they doing this? The first answer is pretty obvious. Marvel Studios is losing money and they need a way to bring audiences back to the theaters. I think Marvel realizes that audiences just worldwide are getting sick of the multiverse thing. It was fun in No Way Home. It was fun in, like, Doctor Strange 2. And then after that, just people were getting so sick and tired of being sick and tired of the multiverse. And it didn't help that the Flash movie completely annihilated audience expectations for the multiverse because there's literally no stakes anymore when you're talking about the multiverse. There's no stakes whatsoever because if someone dies, you can just go to an alternate universe and grab another variant of them. So like, there's no urgency anymore. The multiverse used to be like this fun way to explore foreign concepts in different realities, but now it's just a crutch for movie studios who don't want to take risks. And it's just... It's heartbreaking to think of it like that, but that's the way it is. And when I first saw the news, I couldn't help but think that because I was like, oh my God, they're throwing junk at the wall and hoping that it sticks. RDJ as Doctor Doom, are you kidding me? But then I read more into it, and I was listening to what the directors had to say about it and the writers and everything, and I was like, okay, this issue is a lot more complicated than I thought, so let me break it down. Basically, the big argument in support of RDJ being Doctor Doom is Robert Downey Jr. was Iron Man.
I am Iron Man.
He was the one who started the MCU, basically. He was the one who laid the groundwork for everything that is the MCU today. So it's only fitting for him to be there at the end. Because, spoiler alert, Avengers Secret Wars, which is also going to be a movie featuring Doctor Doom, will serve as potentially kind of sort of the final traditional MCU movie and will sort of push for a soft reboot of Marvel properties, basically. I read a couple things online, and it said that after Secret Wars, Marvel Studios is going to keep what works and push like new things and possibly bring back old things that fans liked for like new movies going forward. But as far as like the traditional MCU, Secret Wars is it, basically. What we thought Endgame was going to be. Secret Wars will be that, according to Disney. And I can't help but sort of connect the dots and think they're doing that because Disney can preemptively see the backlash that RDJ as Doctor Doom is going to get because really there's only one or two ways this is going to go. Either RDJ is going to completely smash the role and he'll revolutionize the MCU yet again, and it'll be remembered for ages, or it'll be the absolute worst thing put to screen, and we're going to be begging for a reboot. And I think Disney knows that because they've already preemptively put a reboot there. So it can't help but feel like even Disney isn't confident in RDJ's ability. I'm not saying that RDJ can't do this because... if I'm being honest, if anyone has a shot of doing this, it's him. So, like, because RDJ's acting is so versatile. He's such an incredible actor. They even said, before they revealed him at Comic-Con, they said, we need the greatest actor in the world. So, I mean, it's obvious that the people at Marvel believe in RDJ. I'm just not sure about Disney because they've already preemptively put a reboot right after his appearance as Doctor Doom. So, like, there's going to be 2 movies featuring Doctor Doom. First of all is Avengers 5, which is Avengers Doomsday, which is coming out in 2026, I think. I know it's going to be after the Fantastic Four First Steps movie, which is going to be in 2025. I think Avengers Doomsday is coming out in 2026. Please correct me if I'm wrong. And then it'll be followed up by Secret Wars in 2027. So the working theory in the community is that RDJ's Doctor Doom is going to be in the Fantastic Four universe because Marvel has already said that the Fantastic Four movie, Fantastic Four First Steps, will not take place in the MCU. It's going to take place in, like, this weird futuristic 60s universe, and the villain is going to be Galactus. I have no idea who that is. So the working theory amongst fans, and I'm just spreading rumors, okay? Don't take this as gospel, but the theory is that movie is going to center around Galactus destroying the Fantastic Four's universe, and the Fantastic Four are going to travel to the MCU universe, Earth 1999-99, to get to, safety. And the theory is that RDJ's Doctor Doom is going to follow them because Doctor Doom originally, if I remember correctly, was a Fantastic Four villain. In fact, he was, like, really up in arms with Mr. Fantastic, and that was their whole dichotomy. So him following them into the MCU just because of the Fantastic Four, that could work. If Deadpool and Wolverine taught us anything, it's that anybody in the universe, like the multiverse, can have the same face but be different people. Because we all know the Fox Wolverine was a hero and all that, and then Hugh Jackman's Wolverine from Deadpool and Wolverine, he said,
"Yeah, well, you didn't mind."
So it's obvious that there's differences. People can have the same face and be different people. People can have different faces and be the same people. Multiverse, it works. Okay, I understand that. I was worried originally that Doctor Doom was from the MCU universe, and I was like, okay, that raises questions because how the heck do 2 people in the same universe have the same face? But I'm almost like 99% sure that that's not the case. It's going to be that this Doctor Doom is from the multiverse, possibly the Fantastic Four universe that Reed Richards and everybody else is going to come into the MCU from. So the logic behind it makes sense. It's just like the ethics behind it, the reasoning, the morals. I'm not saying RDJ can't do this because in my honest opinion, I think he's going to knock it out of the park as Doctor Doom. I'm going to be completely honest. I really do think that RDJ is going to be a fantastic Doctor Doom. I'm going to say it. I really do. So I'm not doubting RDJ's abilities to play Doctor Doom. I'm doubting Disney and Marvel's reasoning for casting him as Doctor Doom because they said it was just out of pure passion and love for RDJ. And even RDJ is saying that, and God bless him, because he even said himself he doesn't just want to be remembered for playing Iron Man. And really, you can't fault him for that because if y'all remember Dr. Dolittle, after Endgame, he was in a movie, Dr. Dolittle. He tried to distance himself from Marvel, and it flopped terribly. So I honestly can't blame him for wanting to make a statement as an actor in the MCU again, but not as Iron Man, as a villain. And honestly, applauds to him. Congrats. He deserves this. He really does. I'm just questioning the sort of business memo reasoning behind it, because at the end of the day, filmmaking is a business. We live in a capitalistic society, okay? Choices have to be made that make money. And I think Disney and Marvel obviously saw that this was going to make a lot of freaking money. Because honestly, audiences are tired of the multiverse, okay? It was fun with Deadpool and Wolverine because that's a dumb, fun movie. But all in all, as a whole, aside from No Way Home, some aspects of Loki, and some other minor things, the multiverse is done. people are sick and tired of all these different variants. I can't tell you how many like skits I've seen on YouTube Shorts or Instagram of people like making fun of all these different superheroes coming from the multiverse, and it's just like a big like just it's so confusing to keep track of. There's no consequences, there's no repercussions because you can always just grab another version if someone dies. So audiences, I believe, at least I am, audiences as a whole are sort of sick of the multiverse. We just want single, isolated, good stories. That's why so many people are up in arms about Spider-Man 4 right now. I need to take a second to talk about Spider-Man 4. Sony is trying to push Tobey and Andrew in Spider-Man 4, and Marvel is trying to make it a single story, and people are so up in arms about that. It's insane. But it's just proof that audiences as a whole are getting tired of the multiverse. So Disney, I feel like they need the multiverse because they're completely out of ideas, but they also needed something like convincing to bring audiences back in to the multiverse to sort of buy into that logic for the millionth time. So they thought, hey, RDJ is Doctor Doom. And again, I understand the sort of poetic thing about it, like RDJ being there at the start of the MCU and him being there when it ends. I understand that sentiment and I respect that sentiment, but I just can't help but see the penny pinching, men in business suits behind that decision. I can't help but see that. And I don't think a lot of people online can either, because I've seen this decision by Marvel is so 50-50 split. You either love it or you hate it. Like, I've seen so many people online fighting about this. I'm like, holy crap. They kept saying over and over again, we Doctor Doom is such a complicated character, and if we're going to bring that to the big screen, we need the best actor in the world to play him. And I'm not trying to diss Robert Downey Jr., but I think it's a little too convenient that they picked someone who was already in the MCU at once. I mean, greatest actor in the world, that's sort of a broad statement. That could be for anybody. You could say Tom Cruise. You could say Johnny Depp. Oh my God, can you imagine Johnny Depp as Doctor Doom? Holy crap. There's a lot of candidates for greatest actor in the world, and I just find it a little too convenient that Robert Downey Jr. was picked to be Doctor Doom. And again, I'm not doubting RDJ's ability to play Doctor Doom. Seeing him in Oppenheimer and seeing all this stuff, like, he's got it. He's got it in the bag. I'll say it right now. I have full confidence in RDJ's ability to play Doctor Doom. It's just, I'm not confident that the studio picked him for that reason. And I'm sure he offered. Like, they probably came to him and he was ecstatic. Obviously, I can only imagine that. This is just theory, but I can imagine he was ecstatic, and good for him because, again, I support him. But I just can't help but feel that this decision was very, very business-oriented and just, the sort of like a last-ditch effort to get audiences in theaters. Because they did the same thing with Deadpool and Wolverine. They brought back Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. And I'm not saying anybody else could play Wolverine. A new actor playing Wolverine would be a huge risk. But they did it. They fell back on a reliable actor that we thought was gone, but that came back through the multiverse as a different person. They did the same thing, and they're doing it again. It's funny. It's honestly hilarious that they keep getting away with it. And in a way they're not, because we have caught on, but we're still buying tickets. What's really got me theory crafting is how the in-universe characters are going to react when Doctor Doom takes off his freaking mask. There's been this news hasn't been out for like a couple days, and I already see people talking about, like, what if Tom Holland's Spider-Man sees Doctor Doom without his mask and realizes, holy crap, it looks like Tony Stark. And I'm like, it's like artificial drama. You know what I mean? Like, they could, like, I don't know. And I will say, it would be worse if Doctor Doom, like, gets his mask taken off and the other Avengers are like, I've never seen this man in my entire life. Let's fight. Like, they don't address it at all. That would obviously be worse, but I don't know. It just sort of feels like this is a way to sort of artificially inject drama into the characters. Like, they have a hard time fighting Doctor Doom because he looks like Iron Man. I don't know. Maybe I'm just a big pansy and I don't get it. But, yeah, I can't help but be conflicted about this. Because at the same time, and I'll say it again, I have full confidence in RDJ's ability to play Doctor Doom effectively. That's not a concern in my mind. I know he wants to do it. He's passionate about it. I'm sure the Russo brothers and the people at Marvel are passionate about it. I know they're doing this for the right reason. It's just the big studio heads above. I can see why they did this. It's pretty freaking obvious. And I can't help but point it out. It's in my nature. I did it with Wonka, and I'll do it again. It's just... It's sort of tiring. At the same time, like, obviously there's the reactions of, oh my god, what the heck? But at the same time, it's sort of exhausting. Like, we've seen this sung and danced before. Like, oh, they're bringing that actor back? Okay. Oh, they're bringing that actor back? Cool. It's like what Tobey Maguire said in Spider-Man No Way Home when they're having that conversation at the construction site of the Statue of Liberty.
I'm always simultaneously, like, completely stunned by the fantastical nature of these things.
Yeah.
And it's also just like
Like,
yeah, okay,
Monday. It's
yeah,
Monday. Yeah, it's
exactly.
Monday. Yeah.
I think that's how... Oh, my God. Disney's hacked into my vocal cords. They don't want me spreading the truth. I think that's how audiences are with the MCU right now because I heard this one guy on Instagram talking about how Endgame was really the Endgame and everything after that has been epilogue. And man, that hit hard because it's kind of true a little bit because it feels like after Endgame, they just started slinging at the wall, trying to see what sticks. There's been so many like experimental things going on where it's both experimental and traditional. They keep recycling nostalgia baiting and Easter eggs and cameos, and I honestly think people are sick of it. I know I'm sick of it. I want an original story that grapples with like themes and all this like none of this metaphysical giant stuff, but just a single isolated story about characters and growth and development like what the MCU was before. And again, I'm not a huge MCU fan. I haven't seen all the movies. I've only seen a handful, but I still get it. I think. I don't know. Maybe I'm just spitballing. Maybe I'm doing the same thing Disney is. I'm just slinging stuff at the wall. Maybe. I don't know. But I couldn't help but put my voice out there and voice why I'm so conflicted about this. And maybe I'll come back to this video. Maybe I'll make a follow-up if I make my mind up. But I don't know. This decision, it's fitting, and it also really doesn't sit right with me at the same time. Because seeing RDJ, I think we all knew if we saw RDJ back in the MCU, it would have to be for a dang good reason. And I think him playing the biggest villain of all time in Marvel is a decent reason. But I saw some people making this comparison, and it really freaked me out. So Thanos was like the big villain for the first 4 Avengers films, and he was hyped up through every single Avengers film. You saw a little snippet of what he was. So when you finally see him in Infinity War and Endgame, you're thinking this is it. He's here. This is what we were waiting for. And I think they're applying that same logic to RDJ as Doctor Doom. But here's the thing. We don't know RDJ's Doctor Doom yet. We just know RDJ as Iron Man. And I think they're relying on that to build up Doctor Doom the same way they did Thanos. And I'm like, that's not gonna work. We knew Thanos was a villain from the start throughout all the Avengers movies. He was hyped up. He was built up as a villain throughout the entire thing. Doomsday, possibly he's going to appear in Fantastic Four. There's a possibility. And he might like cameo or mid-credit scene somewhere along the films releasing before. But Doomsday is going to be like our big first look at RDJ as Doctor Doom. And I can't help but think that they're hyping him up now as RDJ and not Vincent Doom. Like, not as the character. They're hyping up the actor, not the character. And that just feels like such a corporate business money-grabbing gimmick of a campaign. And it's just like... Because on the Marvel aspect, the Russo brothers and the people behind these movies who are actually passionate about storytelling and who are actually passionate about these characters, I know their intentions are pure. I can tell by the way they talk. And I know RDJ is going to knock it out of the park. I'm not worried about that. It's just the big corporate heads. I know why they pushed this decision. I know why they did it. I know why they did it. And I think a lot of us do too. And I think some of us are just trying to push it away like, oh no, RDJ, it's symbolic, it's poetic. And I'm just like, yeah, but at the same time, it's really soulless. You know me, I'm usually really definitive about my opinions. I think the Jurassic World movies suck. I think the Five Nights at Freddy's movie was a huge letdown. I feel like a lot of things, and I feel very strongly about those things. This has actually got me torn. And that sort of confliction in my brain sort of drove me to make this video, just to talk. Because, again, I'm not the most knowledgeable person about the MCU. Ask any of my friends. I'm a Spider-Man fan, not a Marvel fan. So I really need you guys' feedback to sort of help give this conversation life, because I do want to discuss this. Do you think this is a good decision or not? What are your thoughts about the background behind this decision? Are you excited? Are you scared? Are you conflicted just like me? Let me know down in the comments below, and as always, peace.